So hello everyone, I am Nivrutti Avhad. I am presently posted as an assistant collector under training in Badmer. So I would like to divide my talk into three different parts. So first I will be talking about my brief background and introduction. So I belong to place called as Gulwanch in Nasik district of Maharashtra. I belong to a village. Most of my schooling happened in village only. After that, I have pursued my graduation in mechanical engineering from University of Pune. Thereafter, I was placed in a company called as SR Steel India Limited in place Kyonjar, Odisha. So thereafter starts my journey of civil services because till 2014, I was never sure that what I wanted to do. Because I was doing job in steel sector, I was little complacent with that. But all of a sudden, one of my friend who was preparing for state services, he said that you are a very intelligent student in engineering. Why you are getting rusted along with steel in Kyonjar? So there he was a person who motivated me. So I needed a spark in my life, and that was external this time. So my friend motivated, he filled my form, he sent me all the study material, and he encouraged me to write state services. Because why I started with state services? For a reason, I was not confident about my own abilities, though I was a good student in engineering and schools. But second, being from a humble background, there was no economic source or income at my family. So for that reason, I wanted to start with a humble beginning so that I can get job easily like most of Indians do. So I started with state services. With God's grace and my preparation, I cleared state services in second attempt. So in 2015, I was selected in state services. So my job or my dream of getting one source of income was done. So here I was relieved. So I shifted my base of preparation from Pune to Delhi. Then I started seriously preparing for civil services. So in 2015, CSE 2015, I gave my interview, but unfortunately I couldn't clear it for the reason that I was not completely prepared, because it's being such a vast exam. Even I was scared, like most of us, that it is the toughest exam, most competitive exam in the world. Even so many surveys now also comes. So that was a fear. And a person who was not confident, or person who was out of track or out of tune for so many years. So it was a reason that I was not so confident. So in 2016, having one job at my disposal, I joined my state services and I took a leave from that for 1 year, and I went to Delhi again, and I started preparing seriously. I understood some of my weaknesses, that I was not good in my optional, so I prepared well and I got selected in that attempt. I got selected into Indian Revenue Service Income Tax. So I was selected in 2017 as an IRS IT officer. So now the person who was working, in jungles now was quite complacent, and I think I got cocooned. I got into my own comfort zone, and I think after that, coming out of that comfort zone was a real challenge, because now I was satisfied. But again, so many people from my not college, but they were around me and they got into IS. They said, "Yeah, you are having talent, you can do it." But in 17, 18, I was a juggler, I was a multitasker, I was handling my family issues, I was having commitment at family level also. So I was not able to prepare well. But despite that, whatever basic preparation which I had done in 15 and 16, I used to go to the interview round of UPSC all the time. So that was my habit. Going to Dholpur House became a habit for me. So continuously for 5 years, I have attended interview at Dholpur House. So I have given 5 interview in UPSC. Got selected into IRS in second and got selected into IS in fifth. So this has been my journey. So in 18, I joined my income tax training. So during training, I decided again, because I was quite complacent, but again, I felt that by attending training for some part, I felt that this is not a kind of job which will satisfy me, because coming from a rural background, again being a very talkative and extrovert person, so this was my nature, and I thought that in this job I'm going to be professionalized again. So I decided that I need to give one more shot, because again, as the title of our talk suggests, unleash. Till now I was not able to unleash my latent potential, though I'm a mechanical engineering aware of latent concept and all that. Despite that, I was not able to unleash my latent potential. So now I decided to introspect what went wrong. So I took a proper break of 6 months in my training. I was enjoying my training. So I decided what is going wrong. So I never scored well in personality test. Second, despite having a really good understanding of sociology, why I was not able to score well. Third, I was so lazy in my preparation that I couldn't prepare notes of anything. So these were the lacunas. For obvious reason, though I was reaching interview stage, but I was not able to make into the final list for the reason that I understood my weaknesses. So by analysis of all these weaknesses, now I decided that I will go for one more shot at CSE, but with a renewed strategy, relearn. So in order to relearn, I had to unlearn so many things because I become so diffident and I became negative about my optional that I got oversaturated with my preparation. So I needed a break and I got a proper break in my training because see, I was mentally and financially secure because I was having good job at my disposal. So I was very secure. Now I decided to unlearn so many things. So I decided to unlearn sociology. I shifted my optional in my training. So I went for anthropology. Then I learned one thing that I was not disciplined in preparing notes. Now I adopted a fresher strategy because in first attempt you are a very fresher, so you are very curious to acquire knowledge, curious to know so many things. So I decided to become curious again. So I decided to relearn from NCRTs again, 10th standard, 11th standard NCRTs. After 5 years into my preparation, I found some faults and mistakes in my attempt. So I decided to relearn so many things, unlearn the things which I was thinking because I became specialist in sociology. So becoming specialist in UPSC is an anathema or it's a dangerous thing because this exam is supposed to be for recruiting generalist people who are bureaucrats, what we call bureaucrats. So I decided that I don't want to be specialist in anything. Now I adopted a fresher perspective and I started preparing for anthropology. Now again in between COVID came, my preparation was disrupted. So many things happened. I gave my attempt with managing so many things. I was posted in place called as Katni in Madhya Pradesh. So I got a good time to spend for my preparation because see, when you are posted in a small place, you get time for yourself. Being a very extrovert and social person, my social circle is very large if I'm in a big city or place where I know so many people. So at these places, I could enjoy my preparation. So I started enjoying my preparation. I gave my attempt and with God's grace and my smart work and whatever we can, by using all the strategies, I could clear the exam and I got into Indian Administrative Service, Rajasthan cadre. So today I am here. This has been my journey. So throughout this journey, I have learned so many things. I have some takeaways which are not just limited to preparation of any competitive examination. They are useful or they will have utility in any walks of our life. So I will be talking about my things. So till now also I have never been so confident about my communication skill. So first problem, inferiority complex. Being from a village, studied in a rural area, studied in regional medium. So talking in English has been a privilege for me because I have never been able to do so efficiently. Because I used to think that I'm a good engineer, like good if I know technical things, but I was never having confidence to stand up in the class and talk about what is entropy, how to define it. I have never been able to do so. It has been my weakness. So I started working on it since my last year of engineering. So person who comes from village has given exam called a GRE, which is for doing post-graduation in foreign. So these are the challenges I have actually tackled upon. So I gave GRE, I got a decent score. I could have gone, but unfortunately due to financial situation and at that time, external factor like global recession, I couldn't go to foreign. So my dream of going to foreign got dashed. So this is how I accidentally came into this race of civil services. Somehow today I'm here. So I think that it is really worth, but this was my challenge, that inferiority complex. Then I decided to practice so many things. So I have started learning new words since my 2011 to 2022. I could say with proud that I have garnered a lot of vocabulary of English for the reason that I was very deficient in my communication skill. I was not sure about how to write complex sentence initially. Not now. Now I can speak anything. I can write anything because in UPSC you have to write so many things. But again, the point to be noted is that here English is not a symbol of status, because in the contemporary era which is ruled by globalization, we feel that English is a symbol of status. I don't think that it is a symbol of status. It is the need of the hour. It is a lingua franca. That's why we should learn English, not just to show up or to show something different, that I talk English in a place like Barmer, so I'm something different. No, it is a need of the time. It is need of globalization. So that is how I have tackled my challenge of inferiority complex with the practice, right? Then second, why? Because if you see that my journey has been very long. I call it is grueling and arduous journey, but at the same time, it is a very enjoyable journey. Because if you ask my wife, she complained all the time, why you are preparing and how you can prepare. Even now, I love to study. I study sociology, I study anthropology, I read so many random books. This has been my habit, and I think throughout life or throughout my preparation, I have enjoyed my preparation. Now, that why was motivating me. So in any walks of life, to achieve any great achievement in any field, we need to have why. We should have answer for why. Because as I told you, because I was very complacent, I was never meant to be an IAS officer. I never aspired to be. But in the process, I learned that because in the process I started unfolding myself. I started unraveling different aspect of me as a person, because initially 2 3 years I was very complacent. Whatever job I was getting, I was very happy with that. I was less aspirational, I will say the least. But then I unraveled, and I actualized my potential. So I realized that this why is important, that I wanted to serve people, because coming from such a background, and my nature is such that I want to talk to people. So I think this is the one job, IAS, IPS, or the job which provides me platform for public interaction, public interface, and solving their grievances. So this was the one thing which was motivating me throughout. Otherwise, if you see, after 3 4 attempts, people lose the track. And I was successful, and I was successful in IRS, but again, 2 attempts I failed. So not coming into that final is climbing the ladder for 3 stages, like clearing prelims, then mains, and going to the interview, and again not being in the list is a horrible thing. But again, I think it made me mentally tough, so I can deal with any failure, whether it is in personal life or in my public life or in my career as an IS officer. I think I have been very fortunate that the kind of intangible skills which I accumulated through my preparations, they are going to be my firefighting tool, or they are going to be my survival kit throughout my life. So in any journey, whether it is school, whether it is college, whether it is preparation for this, I think whatever skill we get, that is, I think that is going to be a survival kit for me also. Third thing, which again, role of introspection, which in day-to-day life we neglect nowadays. If you see that now the most important topic in contemporary life is that people are going through anxiety and depression. Why it is happening? And the current generation which we are talking about, it is taking a lot of peer pressure. This millennial generation is having a lot of pressure. They say that you do not understand our struggle, because at the age of 20, they want to be financially independent. They want to have a job. Their friend will get married. Their friend will go to US, and they are very depressed because we are going through this stage called as comparison and relative deprivation, and we want all the time appreciation from others. So we are a generation which is deriving pleasure from social media. So this generation is going to be more frustrated than ours, for the reason that we are deriving pleasure from very fragile things. So I think that the lesson for these people is that we need to introspect that what we want to do, because we compare all the time. It's because comparison is a source of frustration. It is proper breeding ground for frustration. I think we need to get rid of this, and by doing introspection, now today also whenever I get frustrated at times, so I do introspection, because till 2018 I was never doing that. But the kind of tool introspection, it is not a like big practice. It is not a rocket science. It's a very small thing. Like once in a month you think that what you are doing, you can do your SWOT analysis. These are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. Now if I'm doing this, what are the opportunities, what are the threats for me as a person? We need to do this, and I think this is going to be our kit in the future. Fourth thing which I want to talk about, that there are some things which motivated me a lot. This motivation was why, because I was very clear about why I want to do. Even if I wouldn't have been in IS, I would have given one more attempt. So that was a kind of unquenchable hunger I developed for the reason, because I was very clear about my why. One quote which really motivated me throughout journey is that by John Lennon, that life is what happens to you while you are busy doing other things. Because I'm a married guy, I was married, cleared all the exam after getting married. I'm having kid today, so I was a multitasker. I was doing my trading, I was managing my family, I was playing with my kid, I was preparing. So I think these are the skill set which I got through my preparation as an IS. I think these skills are going to be very handy. Everyone thinks that people are very busy, so I try to find time for myself. I read, I go for a walk, I play with my kids. So all the things I'm trying to do because of the skill set which I got. So once you prepare for any examination, they are going to give such kind of heritage, such kind of legacy, which can be of great importance in our future. So these are my certain learnings. So I would like to end with one poem, which has poem, or what we can say, motivational things. Because what was the purpose of life? Till now, I'm not that sure about what is the purpose, but I think we want to make our wajud. People should know that who you are. And I think these things has really inspired me. So, tu chal, tu kis liye hatash hai, tu chal, tu kis liye hatash hai, tere wajud ki samay ko bhi talash hai. It may be like not completely verbatim, but this one thing which has really motivated me throughout life. Thank you so much